Hello.
We're both on camera this week. Are you excited?
Welcome to Tuesdays in the Shop. Both of us this week. We missed you the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, we were off for 2 weeks straight because of the holidays and all the busyness.
Sickness and blah, blah,
you're
blah.
still a little sick.
Yeah, you can hear a little bit in my throat. I feel fine, just have coughing fits every once in a while.
And
so
a million
hopefully
negative
that won't happen.
COVID tests. So
Yep.
It wasn't COVID.
No, none of us had COVID, but definitely something going around my house.
And I think a lot of other people's houses too.
Yeah, for sure. But we're here now.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody.
And good to see you guys.
How does it feel to be over the holiday craziness, right? Like now
Good.
we have time to sew for ourselves again instead of hosting
Let's
people and putting up decorations and who knows what else.
Yeah, and we didn't, at my house anyway, my daughter just turned 6 on Saturday. So, our festivities extended up until Saturday. So
That makes sense.
Now I can finally relax.
Did you take your holiday stuff down?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Holiday stuff came down. Birthday stuff came out and is now being figured out where to put. Yeah, birthday and Christmas right at the same time. Just all our house was just filled with
An
stuff.
explosion of toys.
An
Yeah,
explosion.
exactly. That makes sense. It occurred to me that we didn't ask on Facebook and YouTube if they can hear us. So hopefully someone would have mentioned that
Yeah,
they can't hear us by now. No one
probably.
has commented. So hopefully that means that people can hear us. And today, for the first time, we're broadcasting live into Instagram too, with my very high-tech setup of putting my phone where I'm pointing right now
Yeah.
instead of where I'm pointing right now.
So camera on the phone, camera, another light microphone.
So basically, assume we have no idea where we're looking at any given moment. So what are we supposed to be talking about this week? We're supposed to be talking about the retreat.
Oh, right.
Yep.
Yes, the retreat.
So you may have heard, Sandra says she can hear us loud and clear.
Thank
And
you,
Sandra already RSVP'd for the retreat. She will be coming.
We're looking forward to it.
So when we say retreat, we're actually talking about a virtual retreat. It's
Yes.
all held on Zoom. So it doesn't matter where you live or whether you want to get out of your pajamas,
Exactly.
you can attend.
Show
We've
up in
done
your
this in the
slippers.
past and we have like a pretty good setup going where
Mhm.
we have a Zoom open the entire day and people can drop in whenever they want and go sew whenever they want. And then we have a few scheduled times when everyone is encouraged to be on. We do things like giveaways and show and tell and a happy hour. And it's
Yeah.
all planned ahead with a schedule that you get.
Yep. So we send that out so you know what to expect, what times you might want to try to be
Yep.
online, what times you may not be bothered.
And we assume people are not going to be on all day for
No.
2 days straight, right?
Even
Like,
we're not going to be on.
no,
full
we take
time.
shifts. So when we were planning this current class schedule, so our current class schedule goes from January through the end of March. Wait, is it March or April?
I think it's April.
End of April. We realized we hadn't done a virtual retreat in a while, and they were so much fun. The first, how many did we do? 2 or 3?
Two or
We
three.
We had a really good time with everybody, and we
And-
love the idea that we can socialize with our customers from across the country or even across the world.
Yeah, we had people from all over.
Didn't we have someone from France or Norway or something like that?
Maybe. Yeah, it's been. I think we had someone from Hawaii at one
Yes,
point. Or no,
we
that
did have
was
someone from Hawaii.
Or was that Color Journey?
Well,
It doesn't matter.
you can come no matter where you live.
Exactly.
And you are not exposing yourself to COVID by coming, which is awesome. And you can wear your pajamas. No one will judge you.
And you have access to all your machine, your tools,
Your
your
stash.
everything that you might possibly need. You will, have. You don't need to load it in the car or, figure out.
Yep.
I can only take this much, and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
It's
or you
all
bring
right there.
You don't have to bring your backup machine. You can bring your baby,
Your
the
good
one
machine.
you really
Well,
like.
you don't have to bring anything. It's right
Well,
there.
yeah, exactly.
Even better.
And usually when we plan one of these retreats, we pick a weekend that seems to fit a theme, right? So for this time around, we decided to do the weekend before Valentine's Day, and we're doing a self-care kind of theme. And like that term, whether you like it or not, it just means like being kind to yourself and doing the kind of things you would do for someone else, but for yourself, right?
That you don't always take the time to do for yourself.
We tend to take care of the people around us and kind of like
Right.
forget about ourselves. And if we don't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of the people around us, right?
Exactly.
So that's the theme for this next retreat, which is the weekend of February 12th, which is the weekend before Valentine's Day.
Not
So
on,
it's
not on Valentine's Day, but just before.
right before Valentine's Day. So it's about a month from now. And we still have about 20 spots open. If you want to sign up, you can sign up on our website. And there's also a link if you're on Facebook or YouTube. There's a link on the description of this video right there, so you can click. Let's show the book that we're going to be working off of.
Okay, that's a good idea. So one thing most of us have a lot of at home are scraps.
Yeah.
So we thought possibly doing kind of a scrap, or at least starting from that. So we chose this book, Sensational Quilts for Scrap Lovers. This is one that I liked this one because she gives you direction, not only, what types of fabrics to use. She talks about color and making,
Yes.
Colors that aren't necessarily next to each other on the color wheel, work together. If you actually flip the book around, this one on the back is a good example.
I love this quilt.
Like going from aqua to yellow is not necessary, and then to pink is not necessarily the easiest transition. But she helps you, she goes through that and helps you talk about that. And she has consistent sizes. So basically you can just start cutting 5-inch squares and then, figure out what to do with them. We'll show you a couple more of the quilts.
Here's all the different designs that she has come up with. And like Andrew was saying, they use standard cuts.
Mhm.
So you kind of mix and match. You could cut a bunch and decide to do one quilt and then change your mind and do a different quilt because they are all the same.
And I think there's a couple where one quilt uses the cast-offs from a different quilt.
Oh, I didn't notice that when I was looking through.
And there's some that are just entirely scrappy. And then there's others that are scrappy with a background. So, the one we showed you on the back there.
And it's all simple piecing too. It's all
Yes.
machine piecing. I don't think there's even any curves in here.
The only thing is the circles.
Oh, the applique circles.
Applique in that one. I'm
In
pretty
that
sure
one
that's
quilt.
about as hard as it gets.
Yep.
But you wouldn't have to. You don't have to do that one. So basic, flying geese and half square
There's
triangles.
a bigger picture of that.
And that one's fun because the edge is not straight too, which I think is always fun. I've only
Except for when you have to bind it. That
I
part's
know,
not fun.
I'm doing that right now with a double wedding ring. It's not fun.
Are you still binding that?
Yes,
double
I'm
wedding
still
ring?
binding that.
How long is that
It
thing?
was in a cabinet for a while, and it just came out so we could put new toys in the cabinet. Actually,
You made that like
a long
10 years ago.
but it didn't get quilted until 2 years ago, maybe.
Did Jen quilt it?
Yeah, she quilted it for my birthday.
Our friend Jen Strouser.
it was a
She's
great
Dizzy
birthday
Quilter on
present.
Instagram if you follow
She
her.
did a great job.
I'm trying to show another. Look at this one.
So yeah, I just think there's a lot of good quilts in this. And like I said, we all have, well, most of us have stashes, and the fact we'll be at home with access to them. Every once in a while, I get an email from somebody that's like, I don't really have a stash. Where do I start? But for most
And we're
of
like,
us,
just
that's-
wait.
Yeah, for most of us, that's not a problem. But yeah, so I thought this would be useful, but also fun. There's a couple of these that I would like to do, and I certainly have a big stash.
Can you imagine if we actually got to sew during this retreat?
Or if I ever got to use my stash. That's
That's
the thing that nobody thinks about when you open a quilt store. You never get to use your stash anymore.
because you always have to sew to sell, right? So like whatever the new
So
collection
when
is.
the Tula Moon Garden comes in, you have to make a sample for that.
By the way, this is our new Yuma in Tula Moon Garden.
Yes, if you haven't seen this one before, we've done this. This is a free pattern on our website called Moon Garden, or no, called Yuma.
Pattern is Yuma.
Right, the pattern is
fabric
called
Moon
Yuma.
Garden.
The fabric collection is Moon Garden.
It really came out really nice.
And it's totally different than all the other Yumas, which is, it's a nice pattern that way because they can look
Yes.
totally different.
I love that about quilting patterns in general, that like
Mhm.
you see the original and then if you change the fabric, you have a whole new design
Yeah,
that no one's ever
placement
made before.
Can be everything.
Yep.
So we chose this book. We thought it would be good, for sewing at home when you don't want to carry a bunch of stuff somewhere. And another, let's see what else.
So how does it work? When you sign up for one of our retreats, we charge you a fee that includes the book and other goodies that we
Right.
mail to you so that we can all be working from the same book.
If you want.
Yeah, that's a
It's-
good point.
It's not required.
You can totally come hang out with us and just like ignore the
You
book.
can sew anything you want.
It's like, I assume some people still have quilts that they didn't finish for
Right. If you have
Christmas
any
gifts.
UFOs,
Like,
yep.
come work on that. That's fine. No one
Right.
will judge you.
You got a new kit that you want to start, like it's up to you. We are totally against, police and rules.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, I should say quilt police. Yeah, it's, go do your thing.
Yeah.
do
So
you.
when you sign up, we mail you a package, and the package has this book, as well as we've curated a group of gifty items that are sewing themed,
Yes.
but also self-care theme.
yes.
So that was what I was saying at the beginning. If you missed the beginning of the live,
yeah.
I'm like, what's the word
I
I
know.
want
Is it
here?
a recording? Is it a
video?
stream?
And then I
No.
get stuck on the word recording, because
the
then it's
package
like,
of self-care.
yeah, that's what I was supposed to be talking about,
Yes.
and not like whether it's a recording and a cassette tape.
Yeah. that's not good.
So we ship you a package, and the package inside has this book, which we picked specifically for the retreat. And then we've also selected a handful of goodies,
goodies,
essentially, that we think are really awesome,
And useful. and that
useful for your
you
sewing,
might-
and sort of like treating yourself, right? Like,
things you might not get for yourself.
yeah, that it's not like everyone has scissors, right? But not everybody has nice to have items for making their sewing room more pleasant to use.
Mhm.
And we're going to show you one of the things we picked, because we went
Yes.
through, first we were trying to find like things that were shaped like a heart. And then we were trying to find things that were
I have a
like,
couple of those.
what was the second thing we were looking for? There was some other theme we were trying to come up with, and like everything looked too cheesy. So we
Don't remember
eventually
what it was.
selected a list of things that we both really actually want.
Right.
And we can't wait to see you, or for you to see it, but it's a surprise. We are not showing you everything that's going to come in.
Right.
The
We're going to
package.
show you one thing.
We're showing you one, and actually it might be the best one.
It might be.
It might be the one we
So
picked first.
It's a relatively new product.
Yep.
Sorry, I have to cough.
She's still sick.
Excuse me.
You also kicked the camera.
Oh, sorry about that, guys.
I'm fixing it.
Yeah, my long legs. Yes. So one of the things is a relatively new product. It looks like this. So it is actually heart shaped. But when you turn it around, it's a silicone, so it's a soft, squishy. Can anybody guess what it is? Can we even
It kind of looks like something to do your
clean?
dishes with.
Kind of.
It
You're on the right
is not
track.
something to do your dishes with.
Although I don't see why you couldn't, but that's not what it's actually for.
Yeah.
So it's got a little hole in the top for you to put your fingers in, so you can clean your cutting mats. So I don't know about you, but if you cut things that aren't just traditional cotton, anything fuzzy, or if you maybe have some glue on your mat, maybe you spray based where you shouldn't be. The different textures on this, actually, you just kind of rub it on the mat.
I don't like the sound that makes.
Yeah, I don't like the sound either, but it's getting the fuzz out of the little crevices that your rotary cutter makes in the mat.
Right.
So even if, it might feel clean, this is just taking them right off.
And then you can see that they end up
It's-
in here. And
yep,
you pull it
exactly.
out, right?
And because it's silicone, you can wash it. You could do your dishes with it if you wanted to.
You could probably wash it in the dishwasher.
I'm
with it.
sure you can. Yeah. So it's one of those things that you don't always think about until you're like, man, this mat is filthy.
And
And
you may
you try
not
to clean
know
it and you
this,
can't.
but these mats are, quote, self-healing, right? When you do a cut with your rotary cutter, it makes a crease in the mat. But as long as there's not stuff in that crease, it
Right.
heals.
Exactly.
If you leave all that lint in those creases, it can't heal. And that makes your wear and tear worse on your cutting mat.
Yeah. And if you just try to rub it off with your hands, it doesn't come off.
Right, because it's
you'd
like
have to-
embedded in
Yeah,
there.
you'd have to like get tweezers or something in there to get it out. But who wants to do that? So this,
Yeah.
it's coming out. So, and then there are different textures. So if this one doesn't work, maybe that one will work.
Right.
So this
And it's
was
shaped
just-
like a heart, which just goes
Exactly.
with Valentine's Day and self-care.
So we figured most of you probably didn't already have one. That's another thing we try
Especially
to
'cause
think
it's brand
about. Right. Is, I don't want to send people stuff that they already have.
I'm going to show the Instagram people.
Oh, good idea. Yeah, because we don't want to send you junk. We don't want to send. We thought of patterns. Maybe some heart patterns. Those are kind of popular, but a lot of people might already have those. And if you don't already have it, maybe you don't want a heart-shaped quilt. So nothing that is too specific or too obscure either, but something that hopefully you can actually use. And
I'm
don't
excited
already
about
have.
this.
I know I want to take that home because my mat is filthy.
Is it?
Yeah, because I made that fur Halloween costume.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, so I've been waiting for these to come in actually, so I could clean my mats at home.
Sandra just said, "Whoa, a gadget I don't have."
There you go. See, we're looking out for you guys. So there will be other things as well, but those will be a surprise.
Gilma just asked what the purple thing is called. Do we know the answer to that question? I think it's a mat washer.
A mat cleaning pad.
Mat cleaning pad.
Give your cutting mat some love with this heart-shaped silicone scrubbing pad.
And we ordered a bunch for the retreat, but any that don't sell in the retreat will just sell retail.
Yeah, I have a feeling we'll have extras. But yeah, so that's our fun one. If you've done a treat in the past, you've gotten chocolate.
Oh yeah. Are we doing chocolate again this time?
We were gonna try.
Okay. Maybe
So-
we'll do like Hershey's Kisses because that's Valentine's Day.
We'll hook you up with some chocolate. We can't do it without chocolate.
I mean,
There will be chocolate.
I agree with that rule, but
So there will be chocolate, and possibly some other heart things, but also things, that, like we said, that you can use and hopefully something you want to actually get, or something that you've never thought about before, but once you get it, you're like, oh, I could totally use this.
yeah, we're not sending junk. We're sending usable things that we would want for ourselves.
Yes.
So the important detail, besides all the stuff we've already explained, the important detail is that there's a cutoff date to sign up because we need to mail you the goodies, right?
Goodies.
So the last day to sign up is this Friday. So today's Tuesday. You have 3 more days to sign up after today. And we're cutting off at midnight on Friday,
Sure.
right? Yeah. So until midnight New York City time on Friday, you can sign up. And then we start shipping the week after that to
Right.
all,
So, yeah,
all the participants so that you'll have the book in hand
Right.
about 2 weeks before the date of the retreat. That way you can do some planning
Right.
if you want to.
If there was a quilt you wanted to make that needs, say 3 yards of a background fabric, this, you'll be able to get that in time, hopefully.
We've tried to make it so that no matter what your personality is and no matter how you like to approach things, that it would work for you. So it is not required that you do anything ahead of time.
Right.
You don't have to pre-cut. You don't even have to look at the book beforehand if you don't want to.
Yeah.
But for those of you who like to be more organized or more prepared,
Yeah,
Feel free.
We've had people that start something brand new right from the book. We've had people that didn't even just set it aside and we're already working on something. We've had people that are friends and don't live near each other do the retreat together before.
that was, yeah.
So somebody that lives in Vermont with someone else that lives in Pennsylvania, they don't see each other very often, but they both are, they both sew and quilt. That it's a way for you to hang out together too.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah.
It makes me think of that. What's that blog in the knitting world? It's Mason Dixon Knitting. It's like 2 knitters who don't live near each other and they sort of like write letters to each other in their blog posts. So it's
Interesting.
like if it was you and me, I'd be like, "Dear Andrea,
Right.
I was doing this." And then you'd be like, "Dear Yvette." So that would be like asynchronous hanging out with your friend. This is synchronous hanging out with
Right.
your friend via Zoom.
We did just have a question I saw about the time.
Yes, the hours.
So we usually start around 3 in the afternoon.
So for this one, we said we'd start at 4. We
Okay.
shifted a little further back to accommodate
right.
people on
for
the
those
West Coast.
people. Yeah.
And all the times that we're giving are all New York City time. So you just have to convert for your own time zone. So we're starting at 4:00 on a Friday and we're ending at 3:00 on the following Sunday. And we open the Zoom up from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. You do not have to hang out for 12 hours.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's a drop in,
Yep.
in and out kind of thing, as much as you want to participate or.
Yep. One of us will be there the
Yes.
entire time. And we're probably going to do some demos and some giveaways and things like that.
Mhm.
So you want to hang out with us and show us what you're doing. But you don't have to. You're not required to be there the whole
Right,
time.
exactly. But we are also a good resource.
Yes.
If you have questions about things, things in the book, things that are totally unrelated, we will do our best to help with anything that we can. Yeah, and we have people, I think a lot of people don't necessarily have a computer next to their sewing machine, so they just either set up their phone or their iPad or whatever.
Yep.
And that's totally fine.
I'm going to be using my new sewing room for the first time.
Oh yeah,
lately.
that'll
Yeah.
be exciting.
So I moved into a new apartment about 3 months ago, and I have this, not a real bedroom because New York City, they call them home offices. It's a room without any windows. So mine is the sewing room,
Yeah.
except that I haven't actually sewed in it yet.
But you're still
Yeah.
still there. Plus you sew here too.
My
so-
Bernina's there though.
Nice. Let's see what else.
I think that might be it in terms of retreat.
Right. Yeah. So yeah,
Join the fun. It is so much more fun when we have lots of people coming.
it is, yes.
Because they get to know each other. We've had people make friends and like keep in touch afterwards. So yeah, we hope we'll get lots of people. I think we already had about 10 people sign up, and we have room for about 20 more. Oh no, she's choking.
No, there's just lint in this room.
So
It's bothering me.
you cleaned off the lint and it went into your nose. Yeah.
Or into my throat.
Great.
Yes, great. At least I haven't gone into a coughing fit.
Oh, Gilda's asking us to go over the details again.
Oh, good
She missed
idea.
at the beginning. So what we're talking about is our virtual Zoom retreat, which is the weekend before Valentine's Day, the weekend of February 12th. Is it 12th? I should probably get the dates
11,
correct.
12, 13.
Yeah, it's the 10th through the 3rd.
Or 11.
The 10th through the 12th.
Oh, okay.
I just looked. And we do it on Zoom with a Zoom link. And when you sign up, you get a package from us that has everything that we've selected for this retreat. The first thing being this book is what we're going to be sewing with if you want to, not required.
Yep.
And we've also curated a group of little gift items that are for sewing and that are self-care. That's the theme that we're going with, is self-care. Be kind to yourself, take care of yourself.
Yep, take care of yourself. And sewing is self-care.
Especially because we've all spent the last like how many months doing everything except sewing for fun, right? Like,
yeah, I have anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. And most, now that it's actually, I don't know where most people live, but in a lot of places over New Year's, it was so warm. You don't really want to be under a quilt
the
or
weather the
sewing.
last month has been nuts.
But here in New York, at least, it's finally starting to get cold and feel like winter. And that's the time you want to stay home and sew. At least I do.
Yeah. Lily says she loves her new Bernina. It doesn't sew, it purrs.
Yes, that's true.
I think that's a really good description.
It is, yes.
Yep. She got a 475, in case you're wondering which model she has.
But they all purr.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, that's pretty much the point of today's video, was to tell you about the retreat. We hope you'll join us on Facebook and YouTube. There's a link in the description of this video where you can go straight to the website and check out. On the listing page on the website, it also has all kinds of other questions. We have a little FAQ section at the bottom in case there's some question we haven't answered
if we missed
today.
something, or if you didn't catch it or whatever.
And you can always email us if you
Absolutely, yes.
if you think of something later, you can send us an email and we'll get right back to you. I feel like we should talk about some other stuff. Oh yeah, because it's the beginning of the year. A lot of our programs recycle. That doesn't sound really nice. Yeah, restart is a much better word than recycle. So if you've seen our video from a couple weeks ago on Color Journey kicks off again in January.
Next week, yeah. We'll have
There's
the
still
first
time
one
to
next
sign
Thursday.
up and not miss the first month.
Mhm.
And just so you know, you can sign up until the end of February for any of the journeys. After that, we're closing the signups until next year, because the process, the 12 months, kind of builds on each other. So it's easier for everybody if you join in January or February and you go through all the way to December.
Right, which is a little bit different than how we approached it
used to
last
do it,
year.
yeah.
But it just seemed better for everyone to
Yep.
do it this way.
We're always improving. We're always,
Mhm.
iterating. So Color Journey is one of the ones you can sign up for. And the second one is Creative Hand Stitching Journey. That one is led by our friend Jen Strouser. And we're going to do a live on that one. I don't know if it's next week or the week after that, but we
Coming up
hope you'll
soon.
join us for that one too. It's so much fun. If you've wanted to learn hand embroidery is, or if you already know how to do hand embroidery, but you want to level your game up.
There's so much to
There's
learn.
so many cool stitches that she goes through in the
Mhm.
12 months. You're going to be a pro by the end.
Yeah, and a lot of examples of what to stitch on, what to make, all of that kind of
Various
stuff.
other projects too.
Yeah.
Jen likes to bring in, you know, if she's doing running stitch, then she's going to show you a couple of other things she's made with running stitch or sashika or
Different threads and all kinds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's been
I'm
really busy.
so obsessed with hand thread right now. I'm just like collecting all these different kinds of thread. I just ordered some, I think it was Baldani 100% wool.
The ones that came in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like, ooh, this is so pretty. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I just like it, you know?
Hey,
And maybe
all
we'll
right.
sell it one day.
We'll see.
So yeah, new calendar. We have new classes up on the schedule,
Mhm.
both virtual and in-person classes. You can go on our website, click classes and events, and you'll see all of them right there. We would love to have you join us, whether it's in person or online. We are going to continue offering both as long as we can, because some people can't come in person and other people don't really like the online, right? So we try to meet you where you are.
Right. Yeah. And some things are just easier to teach in person. Some things.
Yeah, especially very beginner sewing, because it's
Yeah.
like no one knows what the bobbin is, right? So if
And
you say that,
yeah, diagnosing the threading error is pretty tricky virtually. So
yeah, so some things really do lend themselves more to in person,
but
we've
other things
successfully
work really well
transitioned
virtually.
a surprising number of our stuff to
Mhm.
virtual, and it works really well too. Is there anything else housekeeping wise that we need to talk about?
Not that I can think of. For those of you in the Stash Society, we're getting the January shipments packed up. We've got those packed up today, so those are going out. It's a good one.
Yeah, Andrew likes this one so much. And I mean, she picked them, right? But she likes them so much that she's been like taking extra.
Aren't they pretty?
She's taking extra like beauty shop pictures of them because she's so into this bundle.
Yeah, and
the two of them.
It's kind of funny because it's not normally my
That's
style
true.
either.
Yep.
Like I'm normally the jewel tones and the the aquas and the blues, and this is not that at all. But it's so pretty.
Yeah, it's way more subtle than your usual colors.
Snuggle up with it.
Yeah, which was the theme, right? If you had seen the themes, this month's theme was Hugo, which is that HUG.
Yeah, that
no one knows
Danish
how to pronounce
word or something for basically
coziness, like winter coziness, right?
And I would say these fabrics are definitely that.
Oh,
So-
Lily's saying she wants a free motion quilting class. Yes, I am going to put one on the calendar.
Yes,
it
we've
actually was
heard
already
that.
supposed to be on the calendar, and then something happened and it didn't make it. But yes,
we've heard that quite a few times.
Oh, and Linda's saying she's already done 2 of these retreats and they were fun. Woohoo!
Yeah, they are fun. And you never know what you're going to learn. That's the other thing. Because you see somebody else, you see what's, behind them in their sewing room. You see a tool that they're using, and you're like, oh, what's that? And you never know what can come up and, what kinds of things you can learn about and what you might pick up from somebody else.
Yeah, that's what I always say about taking a live class, whether it's virtual or in person.
Right.
The difference between watching a pre-recorded class or watching a YouTube video and doing a live class with an instructor is that the phrase is like, you don't know what you don't know, right? I always tell the same story, so forgive me if you've heard the story already, but Andrea is actually who taught me how to quilt years and years and years ago.
Many, many years ago.
But I already knew how to sew, right? I just didn't know how to quilt. And in this beginner class, somebody else raised her hand and she's like, do I need to pin every seam? And me being the know-it-all that I am, in my head, I'm going, of course you have to pin your seam. What do you mean? Because I was raised sewing for garments, right? You pin every seam when you're sewing for a garment. I'm not sure I believe the sewing machine could stitch a seam without a pin in it, right? But I didn't say anything because, I'm a know-it-all, but I'm not 7 anymore. So I don't say these things out loud. I just think them in my head. And I'm thinking, of course. And then Andrea says, well, if it's a very short seam, I just kind of hold it together with my fingers and I go. If for long seams, you definitely want to pin because it keeps you from sewing.
Keeps it lined up.
Yeah, it keeps it lined up, right? And I was like, mind blown. And I can tell you right now, I would never have made a quilt if I had not heard that tip.
Really?
Because I would have been pinning every one of those 2-inch long seams and I would never have finished a quilt.
Interesting. Yeah. And she finished 3 quilts
in a
3-week class
yeah.
or 6 weeks or something. Yeah, but she's also a speed demon.
Yes.
So it doesn't surprise me that much that just that one thing, the pins, was enough for you because
Yeah.
it takes too long to
Right,
pin.
exactly, because it slows you down so much, and
Yeah,
I'm
she
the
can't
most
handle
impatient
that.
person ever. So yeah,
Yeah,
So
the
that's
walking
always
foot
my
is, the
story.
walking foot is too slow for her.
Yes,
BSR
it
is too
is so-
slow for her.
So Jackie Guerin says it's a walking foot, not a running foot, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine walking,
Yeah.
not her.
Anyway, that's not what we were supposed to be talking about. Join the retreat. Let us know if you have any questions.
You can listen to us,
Oh yeah, we will be on together for part of it,
Mhm,
and
yeah, for
we
sure.
might entertain. We're pretty good at that.
Yeah, we can certainly run on.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, like, we've been working together. We've been business partners for 8 years, but we physically aren't together that much. We
Right.
almost always, one person's in the store, one person's at home, one person's doing whatever, right?
And
One
we
person's
never get to
teaching.
sew together.
We never sew together, and we like kind of never hang out together. So when we're actually together,
Yeah.
it really is like this. Like we're just like,
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
get a little silly.
So.
But that's okay.
Yeah, and it looks like, oh, Lily says she loved December Stash Society.
Thank you.
Yeah, those were your colors.
Yeah,
more than this
those
month's.
were very
Yeah.
me. That one, yeah.
So those of you who are listening and you're not sure what we mean by Stash Society is our monthly subscription club where you sign up and you get bundles of fabric every month. There's themes every month, so you know kind of an idea of what you're going to get, but not exactly
Right.
what you're going to get.
And there's a stack of it sitting right over there that I really want to show you, but I'm not going to.
Val
It's
is
a
asking.
surprise.
Oh,
I'm really tempted.
Yes, we might show the picture next month.
Okay.
Val is asking, what's the name of the quilt on the wall? The quilt is called Yuma. It's one of our original quilt patterns, and it's a free download on our website. This version we've made with the new Tula Pink fabric collection, Moon Garden. And we've had other
Nice.
versions in the past, so you might have seen this layout, but in different fabrics.
Right. Yeah, we've had several. This one worked out really well though, because the fussy cutting, the shapes, the owl and the flower just happened to fit in those triangles.
So when the
Perfectly.
fabric came, the first thing I did was measure to see if it would
Yeah,
fit.
will this So it worked out really well. I think it came out quite
So yeah, you
nice.
can download the pattern for free on our website, or you can order
We
a
have
kit.
Yep, we have kits as well, so you can do these exact fabrics.
I just realized there was other comments on Instagram, so I am just scrolling back. Okay, it looks like that was all there is. So we'll be back next week with a live. We always do Tuesday nights at 6:30 New York City time. We don't know what the video is going to be next week yet, but it'll be something fun, I promise. Are we done? Is there anything
I
else
think
we
so.
forgot?
Not that I know of.
Well, ask us any questions. If you can think of anything, just shoot us an email. Our email is info@gothamquilts.com, and we'd love to hear from you.
Mhm.
We hope you had a
And
wonderful New Year and holidays, and that like re-entry into the real world is
Yeah,
going okay.
Back to work. And
The amount
school.
of stuff happening this week is like out of control here.
Yeah. We'd love to see you at the retreat too.
Yes, please join.
Thanks.
See you next week.
Bye.
Thanks for coming.